Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
What's going on, fight fans? Welcome to These Things Happen in MMA. The purpose of this channel is to highlight moments and events that have made mixed martial arts into what it is today. Don't forget to follow the channel on social media at These Things MMA, and the link to my merch shop is in the description below. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Ian on YouTube for the recommendation. In this episode, I'm going to outline the various milestones and achievements that have transformed ONE into Asia's largest mixed martial arts organization. This is the story of the first 10 years of ONE Championship. After obtaining an MBA from Harvard Business School in 1999, Chaochu Sichudan worked in Silicon Valley before spending a decade on Wall Street as a hedge fund manager, becoming a multi-millionaire in the process. By his mid-30s, Chaochu was set financially, and having grown up with a background in Muay Thai, he decided to pursue his true passion of combat sports. Chaochu noticed that the Pan-Asian market was lacking major sports properties, and in July of 2011, he founded ONE Championship with the help of former ESPN senior executive Victor Cui.
Our formula for success is values, heroes, and stories. That is scalable across humanity. So I always say our genre might be martial arts, but our platform is humanity. Going each country, as long as you're celebrating wholesome values, you're presenting heroes who are defending the honor and glory of the country. You're telling their remarkable stories of overcoming a tragedy, adversity, poverty, whatever it is. It really ignites the entire country. And that's why I genuinely believe that ONE Championship will become the world's largest sports media property.
With headquarters located in Singapore, ONE instituted a combination of Eastern and Western rule sets, allowing for 12-6 elbows and knees to a grounded opponent. The promotion's inaugural event, titled Champion vs. Champion, was held on September 3rd, 2011, and featured Filipino superstar Edward Foliang in the main event. Thanks to a TV deal with ESPN Star Sports, the show was viewed as the biggest mixed martial arts event in Asia's history, with a potential viewership of over 500 million. From the start, ONE was aggressive in partnering with other promotions across Asia, and the organization's network included Cage Fighting Championship in Australia, Road FC in Korea, Universal Reality Combat Championship in the Philippines, and Dream in Japan. In November of 2011, ONE FC announced a partnership with kickboxing promotion Glory, adding yet another piece to the company's growing network. After a successful debut, ONE announced a 10-year partnership with ESPN Star Sports in January of 2012, providing a reliable and stable platform for the organization to grow across the continent. On August 4, 2012, legendary coach Matt Hume was appointed as Vice President of Operations, after serving as ONE's chief official and head referee since the promotion's inception. Hume has deep roots in Asian mixed martial arts, having fought many times in Japanese promotion Pancrase, as well as being the rule director for both Pride and Dream. I'm honored to be a part of the largest and most exciting MMA promotion in Asia. Time and time again, I've been thoroughly impressed by the quality of work that the extremely talented ONE FC staff has produced. ONE FC is a serious player in the ever-developing world of MMA, and I am confident that ONE FC will continue to take Asian MMA to unbelievable heights. On October 6, 2012, ONE made his pay-per-view debut at an event titled Rise of Kings.
Kotetsu No Face Boku is a Shuto champion who made his debut over a decade ago and has 28 fights to his name. Morera is one of the fastest rising stars in Asian MMA and is undefeated inside the ONE FC cage, with all his wins coming by way of stoppage.
South Korea's Kotetsu Boku would emerge victorious with a third-round finish to become ONE's inaugural lightweight champion, while fellow countryman Soo-Cho Kim picked up a second-round finish to become ONE's inaugural men's bantamweight champion. Japan's Shinya Aoki would also make his promotional debut in the night's main event, earning a first-round submission victory over France's Arnaud Lepant. A few months later, on February 2, 2013, ONE scheduled its inaugural featherweight championship for the main event of Return of Warriors.
Honorio The Rock Banario put himself in contention for the ONE FC Featherweight World Championship title in ONE FC Pride of a Nation. He faces a 5-round clash against fellow Filipino, Eric the Natural Kelly.
After a strategic striking battle, the contest would see Filipino native Honorio Banario claim ONE's inaugural featherweight title, with a 4th-round stoppage win over fellow countryman Eric Kelly. On October 18, 2013, the main event of Total Domination featured a unification bout for the men's bantamweight title between undisputed champion Soo-Cho Kim versus interim champion Bibiano Fernandez.
Two kings have risen. One will fall. Witness the crowning of the undisputed bantamweight champion. Prepare for Total Domination!
Controlling his opponent for most of the contest, Brazil's Bibiano Fernandez would emerge victorious by unanimous decision after 5 rounds and begin his long-standing title reign in the promotion. In December of 2013, ONE also acquired its biggest free agent yet, when undefeated Bellator welterweight champion Ben Askren signed with the organization. ONE established its inaugural welterweight championship on March 14, 2014 at an event titled War of Nations.
The support of two nations behind them, 6,000 miles between them. and the championship of the world in front of them. The biggest fight of their storied careers is upon them, with a dream soon to be realized.
The contest was a hard-fought battle and ended with Japan's Nobutatsu Suzuki defeating Brock Larson by unanimous decision after 25 minutes of action. The next month, in April of 2014, ONE announced a high-profile name joining their executive team when former UFC middleweight champion Rich Ace Franklin signed on as a vice president with the company. 3 months later, in July of 2014, ONE secured another big free agent signing when UFC heavyweight veteran Brandon Vera joined the promotion. Around the same time, ONE also announced the introduction of the Warrior bonus. For every event, I'll award $50,000 to the fighter who impresses me the most in terms of filling the fans with exciting action, demonstrating an incredible warrior spirit, exhibiting amazing skill, and delivering a phenomenal finish. The following month, on August 29, 2014, at Reign of Champions, Ben Askren earned a shot against Nobutatsu Suzuki for the welterweight title.
You have a guy like Funky Ben Askren on the other side of the cage. That is a man with a very, very high-level wrestling pedigree. He's a former Olympian, he's an NCAA champion, and he's 13-0 in his mixed martial arts career. Ben Askren gets on top of you, you are not going to get back up. And if you get Ben Askren down, you're not holding this guy down. Striker versus grappler, you couldn't underline that and highlight it more in this bout. Imposing will, if there was ever a fight where it's going to happen, it's this one.
With a dominant first-round finish, Askren would be crowned the organization's new welterweight king and begin his long-standing title run in the promotion. At the next event, titled Rise of the Kingdom, Brazil's Adriano Moraes became ONE's inaugural men's flyweight champion by defeating the Philippines' Gehe Estequillo with the second-round guillotine choke. Before year's end, on November 7, 2014, ONE held their inaugural middleweight championship at Battle of Lions.
For the inaugural ONE FC middleweight title from Kazakhstan, Igor Svirin taking on the 5-time BJJ world champion from Brazil, Leandro Ataides.
Kazakhstan's Igor Svirin would leave his mark in the organization by knocking out Brazil's Leandro Ataides in just 17 seconds to become ONE's inaugural middleweight champion. In January of 2015, the company began the process of rebranding itself, and going forward, the promotion would simply be known as ONE Championship. In Asia, there's maybe only 35% of people that speak English as a first language. When you start making longer words, the harder it is to translate it and get it across for our partners and sponsors and everyone to leverage and use. If you didn't speak English, you knew what ONE was, chances are. It means the top, the best, and everyone could say it. On May 22, 2015, at Warriors Quest, ONE established its inaugural men's strawweight champion as Thailand's Desjardins Sora Marichok defeated the Philippines' Roy Dolinguez by unanimous decision. On December 11, 2015, ONE's inaugural heavyweight title bout took place in the year-end event titled Spirit of Champions. The fight lasted all of 26 seconds before Brandon Vera knocked out Paul Cheng with a head kick and became ONE's inaugural heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, a tragic incident occurred on that very same card when 21-year-old Chinese fighter Yang Jianbing passed away after attempting to make weight for the event. Bing's untimely passing prompted ONE Championship to adjust its policy regarding weight cutting, and the organization introduced a new system that's instead based around the fighter's walking weight.
As you know, someone who's fighting at lightweight in Bellator or the UFC or one of the other major organizations, they'll be fighting at lightweight, but they'll cut to lightweight the day before, step on the scales at 155 pounds, and then they'll be rehydrated by the time the fight occurs. ONE have taken a different approach. Their weight is tested, and they're tested every day. They're also hydration tested, urine tests, to make sure that they're within their weight class all the way through fight week. So all of the weight classes, the traditional weight classes as you know them, have shifted up a weight class in order to take away the need for a weight cut. Lightweight is at 170 instead of 155. And the other interesting difference is heavyweight starts at 225 instead of 205.
On May 6, 2016, ONE established two more inaugural champions at an event titled Ascent to Power.
Undefeated two-time Pancration World Champion Angela Lee takes on Japanese Deep Jewels champion Mei Yamaguchi in the historic battle for the ONE Atomweight World Championship.
This fight is going to crown the first Asian World Women's Champion.
The main event saw Singaporean Angela Lee win the inaugural atomweight title with a unanimous decision victory against Japanese pioneer Mei Yamaguchi. At just 19 years old, Lee became the youngest person in mixed martial arts to win a world title, and as of this recording, she remains as the only atomweight champion in ONE's history. The co-main event also saw Brazil's Roger Gracie win the inaugural light heavyweight title with the first round arm triangle against Poland's Michael Pasternak. Over a year later, on May 26, 2017 at Dynasty of Heroes, a grappling super fight was held between former lightweight champion Shinya Aoki and accomplished American Jiu-Jitsu champion Gary Tonin. The match would end with a heel hook victory for Tonin after 7 minutes of action, and shortly after he'd make his professional MMA debut and ONE Championship as well. The night also capped off with successful title defenses for both Ben Askren and Angela Lee, who continued to add to their growing legacies. In November of 2017, the company announced a reality show called Rich Franklin's One Warrior Series, with the focus on scouting Asia in search for the next MMA superstars.
Join me, Rich Franklin, three-time middleweight world champion, on a journey to experience the cultures that gave birth to martial arts and meet the rising prospects on this side of the world. These martial artists will compete for a one championship contract exceeding $100,000 and the honor to be called the One Warrior.
Also that month at Legends of the World, Vietnamese-Australian fighter Martin Nguyen attempted to make history by becoming the promotion's first simultaneous two-division champion. The contest was very competitive in the first round, until Nguyen knocked out Foleying in the second with a well-timed overhand right, capturing both the lightweight and featherweight titles. At the very next event, titled Immortal Pursuit, reigning welterweight champion Ben Askren would have his final bout in one against Japanese legend Shinya Aoki.
Ben Askren has announced that his next fight will be his last. But like the true champion he is, he's going out in style. So who will it be? Askren retiring with the scalp of a legend thanks to his dominant wrestling game? Or Aoki starting another championship reign with another masterclass in the art of submissions?
Askren would once again win in emphatic fashion, finishing Aoki by TKO in just 57 seconds and retiring from one undefeated. On January 20th, 2018, another women's championship was established as China's Zhang Jinan faced Singapore's Tiffany Teo for the inaugural strawweight title.
Welcome to the most exciting global martial arts event. The Singapore sensation, undefeated Tiffany Teo. From China, Jiujitsu.
The contest saw Jinan batter Teo to earn a fourth-round TKO stoppage, and as of this recording, she remains as the only women's strawweight champion in one's history. The next month, on February 23, 2018, Burmese-American fighter and current middleweight title holder Ong Long Song moved up to light heavyweight in his bid to become the organization's second two-division champion. The contest lasted just 56 seconds before a head kick ended the fight, as Ong Long Song became the second simultaneous two-division champion in one's history, owning both the middleweight and light heavyweight titles. Also in February of 2018, the promotion launched a new combat sports league called One Super Series, with the focus on showcasing kickboxing and Muay Thai bouts. In May of 2018, One announced a new mobile app that would allow millions of fans free access to the live events and digital content. The news was huge for territories outside of Asia, as it now gave fans around the world an easier platform to consume One's product. Later that year, in November of 2018, the organization released an abundance of high-profile news and announcements. First up was a trio of signings, as former Glory welterweight champion Nikki Holtzman, former UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez, and former UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson were added to One's roster. The acquisition of Johnson was of particular interest because it involved the first ever trade in MMA history.
It is historic, this is fascinating, this has never happened before. Demetrius Johnson wants to move on. Demetrius Johnson lost his belt, right? He broke the record. It's time to move on. Because he has some fights left on his contract, the UFC says, all right, we're not just going to release you, but how about if you want to go to One, where your head coach Matt Hume works, he's the vice president of operations, you want to go over there? All right, who's over at One that we're sort of interested in, that's not interested for fighting over at One? It's Ben Askren, the undefeated fighter who is their welterweight champion over in Bellator. So if we can swing this where you guys release Ben from his contract, he has several fights left, and we release DJ from his contract with the understanding that you are going to go over there and he's going to come over here, that's how it happens.
Next was the addition of former Strikeforce and UFC women's bantamweight champion Miesha Tate, who signed on as another vice president with the company. The third announcement was the launching of a new competitive gaming series called One Esports, which shows to run in conjunction with MMA events. Lastly, before year's end, One Championship also secured a US broadcasting deal with Turner Sports that would further broaden the promotion's audience in North America and bring live events to TNT's digital platform. In January of 2019, One revealed an exclusive partnership with longstanding Japanese promotion Shuto, allowing a talent pathway for the organization's fighters to progress in One Championship and compete on a global stage. It's an honor for me to announce a historic partnership between One Championship and Shoto, the world's oldest mixed martial arts organization. It is a misconception that America is the birthplace of mixed martial arts. Everything started with Shoto in 1986. 2 months later, in March of 2019, One secured a second deal as prominent Japanese promotion Pancrase also signed on to an exclusive partnership. Following our partnership with Shoto, One Championship is excited to offer the same opportunities to Pancrase athletes and world champions that compete on the world's largest stage for martial arts. Our partnership with Pancrase once again marks the world's top martial arts organizations coming together to create a new era of martial arts in Japan. On March 31st, 2019, One held their 90th event titled A New Era that featured 4 title fights as well as the opening rounds of the flyweight and lightweight Grand Prix.
But the time for a new era is upon us. Tonight, 4 world titles are on the line. Historic debuts by mixed martial arts megastars Demetrius Johnson and Eddie Alvarez. There's a world champion in every bout. A new era, live in Tokyo, starts now.
Both Eddie Alvarez and Demetrius Johnson made their promotional debuts, with Alvarez losing in devastating fashion by first round TKO, while Johnson won his match with a second round guillotine choke. Longtime staples Bibiano Fernandez and Shinya Aoki would both reclaim their bantamweight and lightweight titles in rematches and become 2-time champions in the promotion. 2-division champion Onlong Song will retain his middleweight title in a rematch as well, while Zhao Jinan defended her strawweight title against Angela Lee, who was moving up a weight class and attempting to become a 2-division champion herself. A couple months later, on May 17, 2019 at Enter the Dragon, Angela's brother Christian Lee would defeat Shinya Aoki for the lightweight title at just 20 years old and become the second youngest MMA champion after his sister. The company's historic 100th event titled Century took place on October 13, 2019 and featured 3 title fights as well as the finals of both the lightweight and flyweight Grand Prix.
On the 13th of October, in Tokyo, real-life superheroes meet on the global stage that will go down in history. 1 century.
In the first part of the all-day event, both Christian Lee and Demetrius Johnson became tournament champions, adding another footnote to their growing list of accomplishments. The main event was a rematch between Angela Lee and Zhang Jinan, but this time at atomweight, with Jinan attempting to become a 2-division champion. After a grueling battle, Lee would win in dramatic fashion as she managed to pull off a rear naked choke with 12 seconds left in the contest to retain her atomweight title. The second part of the event featured super fights that pitted 4 Shoto champions against 4 Pancrase champions in a never-before-seen showdown between Japanese promotions. In the main and co-main events, light heavyweight champion Onlong Song and bantamweight champion Bibiano Fernandez would both retain their titles in spectacular fashion with second-round finishes. A year later, on October 30th, 2020, One Championship held an event titled Inside the Matrix that again featured 4 title fights.
The punching panda! It's insane! It's insanity! It's good! Live! Freaking Irene! That's the showdown the world has been waiting for.
Strawweight queen Zhang Jinan would retain her title by unanimous decision in a hard-fought rematch against Tiffany Teo. Heavy-handed Tan Lee would defeat Martin Nguyen by TKO with vicious strikes in the 3rd round to become One's new featherweight champion. The co-main event saw newly crowned lightweight champion Christian Lee earn her first-round TKO victory against undefeated prospect Yuri Lapicius. Lastly, in the main event, undefeated Dutch fighter Reiner de Ridder unseated 2-division champion Onlong Song with a rear naked choke in the 1st round to capture the middleweight title. With over 25 million followers on the platform, in November of 2020, One announced a global partnership with Facebook that includes custom MMA content as well as the launching of a new gaming channel. Shortly after, in December of 2020, the company also partnered with One Pride MMA in a deal that would see the 2 organizations work to develop and produce martial arts for the region of Indonesia. The following year, in March of 2021, the Apprentice One Championship Edition debuted, with 16 contestants competing for a cash prize and a 1-year contract in the promotion. The show's first season was successful, with the second soon to come, and the program is expected to debut on Netflix in the first quarter of 2022. On April 7, 2021, the promotion made its US cable debut on TNT and featured the return of both Eddie Alvarez and Demetrius Johnson.
It's the showdown the world has been waiting for.
The fight's a fight.
Demetrius trying to choke him.
I'm gonna go out there and win this world title.
That's good night, Irene!
Deep, that's it!
There it is, it's over!
If you have one guy in the world who can beat DJ, it's me.
After a competitive first round, DJ would suffer the worst loss of his career when Moraes landed a hard knee and stopped Johnson by strikes in the 2nd to retain his title. After starting the contest strong, Alvarez would lose his fight by disqualification due to illegal blows to the back of his opponent's head. However, the bout was later changed to a no contest after an appeal. Later that month, on April 28, 2021, Reiner de Ridder became the 3rd simultaneous 2-division champion in One's history as he defeated Onlong Song for a 2nd time, taking the light heavyweight title. Also that same night, Arjun Bowler would defeat long-standing heavyweight champion Brandon Vera, becoming the first fighter of Indian descent to win a world title in mixed martial arts. On September 3, 2021, another milestone in women's MMA took place when One Championship held its first ever all-women's card titled Empower.
I am not just a woman.
This is danger!
But a beacon of hopes and dreams.
Oh, she got the tap!
A pillar of inspiration and strength.
Good night, Irene!
A fearless trailblazer.
Oh!
Willing to go to any length.
It is a battle for the strawweight world title as Zhang Jinan defend her strawweight strap. And Michelle Nicolini looking to become a history maker again.
The main event once again saw Zhang Jinan continue her dominant title reign and successfully defend the strawweight championship for a 5th time. The card also featured the opening round of the 8-woman atomweight Grand Prix, with the eventual winner to face divisional champion Angela Lee. Late in 2021, the promotion announced their 10th anniversary event titled 1X would be postponed until 2022 due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The card boasts 4 title fights and features a never-before-seen Muay Thai MMA special rules bout between Demetrius Johnson and ONE's current Muay Thai flyweight champion. After more than 10 years of promoting MMA, ONE Championship is starting to bring in numbers that rival the UFC, and they've already held nearly 200 events in multiple regions across Asia. ONE's philosophy of embracing all martial arts has forever altered the course of combat sports for an entire continent, and the company continues to try and better the sport by prioritizing its fighters. The promotion's meteoric rise has provided a huge platform for MMA in Asia and created numerous heroes the continent can call their own, so let us never forget the first 10 years and ONE Championship. As always, I posted some related material in the description for those interested. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with a topic you'd like to hear me cover in a future episode. Again, don't forget to follow the channel on social media at These Things MMA, and the link to my merch shop is in the description below. Thanks for watching and supporting my channel.
I obviously, when I started ONE, I thought it could be big, but then if you said 10 years later, you'd be in the top 10 for TV viewership, for online viewership, all that stuff. I think what we're doing resonates, across the fact that our strategy of putting everything on free-to-air TV, on pay TV, on digital social, and making martial arts accessible to the masses. I'm very grateful. But what I do believe now, and I've told this to my team, there's nothing that can stop us now from being, top 5, top 3, top 1 in the world. I'm grateful for where we are, but I'm nowhere satisfied or content. I believe that it's just the beginning of the journey still.
Sometimes these things happen in MMA.